Shalom, shalom, shalom. Call Lam La Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kakodash, double honor to the others and the possible great millstone. Shalom to Akim in the faith, doing work in truth and sincerity. I brought to Zah this lesson to be edifying and straight to the point. This lesson is going to be titled Seeing Things Through, or, niggas gonna die, because that's the kind of energy I've been upon, and lately, and I could tell those who were around me kind of sense it, and they probably thinking I'm like off and shit, but really, the Lord just turned me up into another dimension which I needed to be in, because nigga was focused on a whole bunch of shit taking me off my pivot, but the Lord got me back on track, because the Apostle Sahar said something yesterday that really sparked my interest in my spirit. He said, the elect are satisfied, and that's what we chasing, is the election of this thing, the kingdom. And, I was like, man, you know what? I felt that, and that's the mindset I need to be in, is instead of chasing and trying to get better. Because as a man, especially, you start hitting your 25s, those kind of ages, testosterone flying, you feeling achievable, you feeling high achieving. You got to make sure, in this truth, when you know the Lord, you've been brought up and you've been opened up to this thing, that you channel that energy correctly. That's all of what discernment's about. That's what, this teaching is about, is is the way we're brought up and how we go about it. Because Ecclesiastes, it tells us, man, the whole point of our life, man. 12th chapter, bear with me. It says, verse 13, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Keep his commandment, for this is the whole duty of man. Damn. And then it says, my commandments aren't grievous. So, I don't even got to get that, because that's a short precept that I didn't butcher too bad. But, that's just going to show the simplicities of life of being content. How Paul says, knowing how to abound, knowing how to abase. And the times we're coming into, we know things going to get rough. And a lot of these people, they ain't ready for it. And a lot of people are in a different mindset, of growing, of seeing things out. And really, we got to be in the spirit of destruction, man. Never hoping to see anything grow, not seeing things through. But, you got to get your bag up. So you got to have balance with that. So, in the midst of that, make sure you got the Lord first. So when you trying to get money, you're doing it the right way, and you having correct balance, so it don't take you off your pivot one bit, because niggas gonna need more money as time goes, but that shit don't matter, man. That money shit really don't matter, because it's about to come to zero at some point. If anything, you need to throw that cash into something else like gold, cryptocurrency. But said different bullets. I was trying to say different wounds and bullets, but that's the casualties of war, man. But the Wadi Al-Bashim Yahushai, I'm still on my feet. The Lord still got the spirit upon me. I still got the vision. I still got the eyesight. I still got the want and the need, to get into the kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Which he's coming, to usher via his son Yahushai. So, lately I've been real negative upon people, and to someone in the world, it seems like I'm in a dark place, but really I'm right where I need to be, man. Trying to be in unison with you motherfuckers and doing business and all that shit, being cordial, fuck all that. Like, now I got my money up and shit. I don't gotta, be networking as much and all that. The Apostle Sahar said something yesterday and it hit me, man. It was like the elect are satisfied, and it's like facts. I am, I need to be pleased with what I got, because I done made a boku shit ton of this. I done survived this, I done did this. The Lord done allowed me to still be here on my feet, still giving me this, grace and mercy, tender mercies, which he, preaches about and promises, still giving me his love, and I want to take advantage of that, of course, man. The scriptures, speak about, pretty much using the world, not abusing the world. So it's definitely a balance, and you got to catch yourself. And at the end of the day, it's of the Lord. When you going left and when shit's going left, it's really not up to you. The Lord orchestrating all that. And at the end of the day, if you of His, you gonna make sure you good. No matter even if brothers may look down on you, because brother's not the Lord, you know. So the court's got to play out for, you know, full judgment, you know, to be judged correctly. But at the end of the day, the Wadi Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, he has the last say so, and, you know, not a brother, because, you know, if it was up to man to do a lot of things here, you know, things would be out of course as it shows today. You know, we got to be in a new body before we could be, you know, of course we the judges on the earth, you know, making correct judgments, but, you know, we all a work in progress, man. We all trying to get to where we got to get to. We can't get knocked off our pivot. Speaking of only myself, and honestly, myself first and foremost. I say myself only because, you know, I don't want to seem like, you know, a big dog talking down upon anybody. Like, I'm as humble as it get, and you got to know how to eat humble pie as well. Like, not only in the truth, but also in life. Like, just in all circumstances, like adapting, like knowing it's not your turn and your time. Like, don't lose pivot. Don't lose sight. You know what I'm saying? You just got to keep at it, just because what you don't use, you lose. You know what I'm saying? But getting to the scriptures, less about me. It's just some insight, because I know people be having questions and they don't got the access to ask me. You know, so I'll open up through the Spirit if necessary, if beneficial. Back to the point, and it shall come to pass that in all the lands that the Lord Yahweh Bashem outside, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So the Lord's only talking about the nation of Israel. He's going to cut out majority of the nation of Israel, 66%. And only 1/3 is going to be saved out. So that's a small remainder compared to the rest. But now compare that remainder, right, of Israel to the rest of the world. Because the Lord ain't saving and delivering and dealing with heathen. So that's all the nations, that's all their, the only thing that's going to be left is just enough for us to repopulate those who escape, you know, the judgments that are coming. And really, they just going to be making babies for us to have more slaves. And they're going to be continuing slavery. Once they make their kids, put them into slavery, let their kids grow up to whatever the perfect age is, put them into slavery. And then, you know, just however they're doing us, we're going to do them worse, but even better. And we're going to do them through the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? We ain't going to be butt breaking and shit like that. But, you know, that's the mindset you got to have, though, is being a visionary, man. Seeing things through. I used to tell brothers that on the highways and byways, man, you could see a building and you could literally see a missile in it. It's like one of those hats, those Halloween hats where you can see the knife in the head. So, like, a dude would have an afro or whatever, and it'll be, you know, the knife handle on the right side of your temple, and then the knife edge, the sword will be on the left side of your temple. So it's like I can see buildings like that. It's like this emoji right here. Fuck. It's like this emoji right here. The heart. It's like you can see that bit through that bit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's how I see, you know, a missile or people dead already in Babylon. It's like, oh, you dead. Because the Lord gonna kill most people. And you know what I'm saying? It's like we don't know who's going to end up being the elect, you know, just judging people throughout the day. But, you know, the Lord gives us signs. He tells the scripture, you know, of how to judge and how we should see him, and, you know, by his fruits, so forth and so on. But I'm saying, like, just going throughout the day and days of my life, like just going to the gym or just being on the road, like just most people are just, they withering down, you know, mentally. Like they not keen. They not wise. They not sharp. So everything, like the quality of life is diminishing, man. Like it says, like the scriptures talk about how the daughters of, I think of the scriptures speak about how the daughters of singing or the daughters of song have been brought low, you know, and that's the quality of everything, man. Everything is just fucking shit, just awaiting judgment. That's what I'm gonna name this lesson. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. So your mind, your heart being your ka'alab in the Hebrew. But the heart of fools in the house of mirth. So if you're in a foolish state, you're gonna be on some happy shit right now, and until you get judged, you know. But if you're wise and you're on the right hand side of the Lord, being vigilant of what's going on, then you're gonna be mourning. You're gonna be thinking about all the different things that are going on and that are about to happen and that has already happened. The scripture says about how he that increases in knowledge, increases sorrow. So if you knew better, you do better. And it's hard to join. It's hard to go back in when you woke up. When you woke up, ain't no going back in. It ain't no believing into some other shit unless you bugged out. And that's one thing, I think the Lord about as well is I ain't never, believing no crazy ass shit or even been tempted to, and hopefully never will be. Ecclesiastes 1:18, for in much wisdom is much grief. That's right, man. You getting smarter, you learning more, you find out the truth. Your head getting heavier, man. Your spirit getting heavier, then you living longer. Like you found this out. You might have found what you know right now, or some traumatic stuff that's hurting people today, because they just found out like a year within the last year. But you've been knew about this shit since 10 years, so you've been living with this damn knowledge while everybody else lollygagging and shit. That weighs heavier in the heart, man. Because you have to go throughout life and not fake it, because you know what's up, but you gotta go throughout life through the motions, just because of the hell of it, because that's just the procedure. And if you don't, then you gotta suffer the consequences one way or another. That's how this beast system is ran, But now everybody waking up. To us, we like, it's too late now, It's good some people waking up, but, man, this shit's raps. In reality, I took too long to wake up. This shit's raps. So with that, Lord says edifying. On to the next one. Shalom.